dedication to all the innocent bystanders. This world we live in. Yeah, all praise, spill the blood of the seraphim. Rebellions in the heavens had a story to manifest. Archangels, demigods, black mist, camouflage, gas mask, bullet wounds, last words. Androids pumping antibiotics, it doesn't make you any more of a human. Moment of silence, yo. Evil deeds, broken beads on the rosary. If demons were made of flesh, their death will be poetry. I give you all of me, it's written by the ancients. My physical body was consumed by the earth's surface. Longevity, we prosper in despair. I see a picture of a broken chair. You know my poetry. Yesterday I saw a shooting star, so I sent a wish. I wondered if it made it to the star. Cause mankind is still hating on each other. If I could end it all tomorrow, tell my mother that I love her, tell my brother that I'll miss him, and give him my heart. My blessings, that's my nigga. We've been through a lot. Top one, you like scripture, I love that shit. And we gon' be tight forever, yo, believe that shit. Yeah, fallen angels, mind, soul, and body. This world that we living in got the earth crying. Jungle warfare, soldiers dying on the altar. No child left behind, just an innocent bystander. Breathe, I just need you to breathe. It's like, breathe, I just need you to breathe. It's like, breathe, I just need you to breathe. It's like, breathe, I just need you to breathe. Who mathematically bomb threats and brings to you the future of the lyrical. Metaphysically cross heads. You thought that you was nice until the guard commanded forces. You couldn't win the war and now you've suffered many losses. Don't get it twisted, yo, the future is the movement. Make you seek the grace of Mecca with the darkness that we move in. Overstand the seventh seal, I'm laughing at you. Crucifix, the guard remains immaculate. The rest of y'all is acting it. The fuck you think I came for? The king is now irrelevant. I'll resurrect the Black Panther party in darkest melanin. Searching for perfection as I'm on my quest to Babylon. To battle demigods used to meditate in heaven. And this is what you thought it was, that higher elevation. I'll manipulate generic codes to reconstruct the matrix. And fuck your relativity. These Western ideologies compared to a millennium of scientists in Africa. Got the upper hand because I studied with the man and then evolved my understanding through the lessons of the promised land. So take note, cause you ain't heard it like this since the 1996, pleading the fifth, poetic death.
I've been walking on this planet for a century, trying to find peace, a worthy adversary to defeat. But even underground legends seem to drop the ball, so internally organized to plot the downfall. Now I've been walking on this planet for a century, trying to find peace, a worthy adversary to defeat. But even underground legends seem to drop the ball, so internally organized to plot the downfall.
The Pride Rock Podcast. I'm Rowan. Today I am joined by my good friend Gav.
Hey, it's me. It's Gav.
For the second time actually, because we already tried to do a recording and this failed miserably. I don't know what went wrong exactly, but something went wrong.
Yeah, it didn't record. So that was good. That was a good time.
Good time.
We had a very good talk, and then everything just
Yes.
went to shambles, as they say.
Yeah, good test for friendship, you know,
Exactly.
patience, whatever. So, how have you been? How was your day?
It was good.
What did you do?
I was just sleeping and having a bit of food, and doing the laundry, as a good houseman, a man of the house.
Just doing errands.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Great. So, yeah, you know, my good friend Gav has
Yes.
been having some very interesting, I guess you could call them dream experiences. And I figured we could maybe talk a little bit about that. So I'll let you talk. Maybe you could tell the people at home what you've been doing at night.
Okay, so first off, I'm not a man of spiritual things and stuff. Like, you know how you know me. Like I'm
Very down to earth, rational, wants
yeah.
to see proof of everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been having these kind of like dreams that I've been feeling very otherworldly. And there's a difference between having dreams that are strange or, that feeling when I'm dreaming. Oh, it's like, oh, okay, I know I'm dreaming. But it's like it's a very different kind of world. And I think because the first time we were speaking to each other for a podcast, I told you about this as well, and
Mm-hmm.
I had this dream, which I can't really remember so well, but it basically was I was somewhere else and I realized it, and then I began checking with the people in my dream, you know, uh, what time is it? Where am I? Blah blah blah. You know, the standard questions, and then um, at the end of the dream, there was this old man kind of guy who showed me proof in my dream. He showed me proof that it is a different world, and then that so this was like a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think either yesterday or 2 days before yesterday or something. It's like three to yesterday, like 3 days ago or like yesterday. I can't exactly remember. I had another dream, but at the end of the dream, I realized that it might have been in the same kind of like universe, like dream world universe thing. Like, you know, so that was yeah, that was really strange. It's yeah, yeah.
Yeah, could you describe what you did in a dream? What your surroundings were like?
Okay,
You know, with
so
whom you were with and stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So in the dream that I had recently, it was kind of like it's like that feeling when you have a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like when you play a video game
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, I choose to be, if, for example, you're playing Skyrim, okay, I choose to be a villain,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you become that villain,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in that dream, I was kind of like I guess like an explorer or maybe even a treasure hunter kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was with two other people,
Mm-hmm.
and basically we did something like kind of illegal because I remember, uh, you know, it's not being chased, but
Mm-hmm.
more there's people that are, you know, watching you. They're like, you shouldn't be doing this or
Yeah.
whatever. And and basically, in that dream, um, we were exploring and stuff, and it was kind of like in the same world as the dream before, like the same, you know, the same surroundings, the same kind of buildings, the same kind of nature.
Mm-hmm.
The weather's kind of the same,
Mm-hmm.
and let me think up what the detail was again, because at the end um, of like the treasure kind of thing, like people were looking at the wrong places. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was some very expensive kind of meat or
Mm-hmm.
something, and then I found out through like uh, being on my own and like doing my own thing. I found out that it was a different kind of meat. Like everyone was looking for this, for like animals or something that, you know, of a smaller kind of animals, but it was supposed to be like a really heavy kind of meat, and that's how I woke up. Like the realization, it's like I told my companions, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, they're all looking at the wrong thing, so
Yeah.
uh, it's okay that we didn't find it because I know what we have to look for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did it feel like you were playing a game or something? Like maybe like the Hunger Games or something, where you're in this game you have to accomplish something to
No,
get out of,
because
or was it serious? You know.
I don't like I play video games, but I don't play like I'm really bad at video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no real incentive for me to play video games. So the link between video games and the dream is to me
Mm-hmm.
is obsolete. Like to me there is no link.
Mm-hmm.
There shouldn't be one.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't feel as if it was a game. It felt as an experience. It's like it's as if you're watching like because I watch your thing with the other guy with Tom, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you're watching a movie of yourself,
Yeah.
right?
But
Is
but were you experiencing shit from third person perspective or first person or second?
it's switched kind of.
Okay.
It's like okay, now I'm here, right, and I'm that guy, and I can see what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
but then I could also in at some points it would like zoom out, and it's like, okay, so this is the grand scheme of what's going on.
So you were like shifting between witnessing it and actually living it.
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
that's weird.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even know where to begin with that because I have no idea um, what it could be. Of course, I have some ideas, but I've never had some first-hand experience
yeah,
myself. I mean, I had some fake things happening to me, but not as clear as you are describing, where I would actually be at, a fucking desert and doing this and this. It's really, really fucking odd, man. And I
yeah,
think it's very, very intriguing. Yeah, but I think the only person that can eventually find out what happened is you, because you can always explain things to people, but they'll always interpret it
yeah,
in their own way, and will not never get it as good as you did because you obviously you experienced it yourself. So what I always say when people tell me things like this is try to somehow find answers. I wouldn't know how to do that or even start with that, but
yeah.
maybe
That's the
go.
difficult part.
Yeah, go. That's easily said, of course, but go to bed with a certain intention, or maybe try to find things on the internet. I don't know. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, because we've been speaking about these themes for a very long time now,
Mhm,
I guess.
mhm,
And now it's like because I can imagine people saying, it's just a dream,
mhm.
it's whatever. But it's like it's it's like a feeling you because like I kind of hate people that say, yeah, I'm really good at lucid dreaming and stuff, but I'm very aware of like dreaming,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? So I can make the distinction between, oh, this is a dream,
Yeah.
and this is like, wow, wait, this is something else. This is
Mhm.
more than a dream. At least that's what it feels like. What it very, very feels like.
At this point, I'm against people who say that I know, and people who say that, people who say it's lucid dreaming, and people who say it's astral projecting. Because for either case, you don't really know. It could
Yeah,
be both or a combination, or
yeah,
it could be anything, or maybe even something we haven't considered yet. So, yeah, it's
exactly.
really fucking fucking weird, man.
Yeah, it's very strict, especially considering I'm usually like I'm such a down to earth person. Like
Yeah. Oh
it's
man.
yeah, it's like
You guys
it's,
don't even know because I went through this crazy phase, let's just call it that, where I would almost believe everything I read on the internet. And
that was
yeah,
funny.
Kav was basically the person I would tell about these things, and he was just silently, letting me talk. But probably in his head, he would be like, "Oh shit, here do you have Rowan again with this crazy talk."
Yeah,
So
because
I think you always had some interest in it, but you always had held a clear mind. You know healthy. You always had a healthy perspective on
yeah,
things like that. So for a guy like you to come out saying things like this, it means something. I think I'm more inclined to believe you than some dude who was already into this kind of stuff. And
yeah, exactly.
because the thing is, then you'll probably see things that aren't there, or you want just some things to happen that
Yeah,
it's.
because people because you can say, okay, you want to see this, right?
Mm,
You believe in something, like you want to see this, you want to see something to
mhm.
believe, but it's like, why would that happen when you like when you only when you don't really believe it unless there's proof,
Right.
right?
Yeah, and I think the reason that you're familiar with terms like dreaming and astral projection now, but that was
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
because of the experiences you had, not the other way around. It
yeah,
wasn't like,
exactly.
oh,
Yeah,
I got familiar with astral projection and lucid dreaming, and after that I got those experiences. So
yeah,
that's
because I read because afterwards I would go online and say, wow, I'm having these weird dreams,
mhm,
and then you get on these very vague
yeah.
kind of like new age kind of things, like, yeah, you have to keep looking at your watch and stuff, and then
Mhm.
you look at your watch in your dream and you know that it's a lucid dream, but then I don't know, it's very strange, but it's really funny because there really was a period where Rohan, like, he went into kind of like a crazy phase kind of thing,
Mhm.
and like I remember that we went to the woods
Yeah,
and
we
and
did this ritual to
to like
to
to summon
yeah,
aliens.
summon aliens, yeah. But that was in the beginning phase. It was even
Yeah,
before my crazy phase because you basically had this Dutch website called Nibiru and you had these weird guys on it and they were claiming all these things. And at some point they were even on some Dutch television program and this guy was saying, yeah, once I was in the woods and I was doing this and this and then all of a sudden this UFO came down with blonde aliens coming out of it and they were telling us, oh, you're doing a good job with the website, blah, blah. And I believed it. So
yeah.
after that, I told the Cuff and we tried to
We just tried it
mimic the
because
whole thing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we were like,
stupid.
well, if this is true, I mean, we're young, we can try. So we
Yeah,
tried. Nothing happened.
and we were making a fool out of ourselves, but it was fun and it was a good learning experience.
It's fun.
I think it's better to do what I did than stay close-minded your whole life. I
Yeah.
mean, because what happened to me was first I got crazy, then I became like ultra skeptical, and I'm feeling like now I'm trying to find middle ground, and now I'm
Yeah.
actually more inclined to the crazy stuff again. But I'm coming from a more healthier place because I've went through all the
It's more rational.
yeah, and I've been
Like
through all
it
the
makes sense,
yeah,
right?
and I've been through all the disappointments, of course, because I got onto this website where they were promising all these things. Aliens
The
are going
ascension
to come
thing.
down, going to help you, this and that, and of course it didn't happen.
Was it
So
the ascension thing?
yeah, also the ascension thing. Okay, so in the New Age community, they were basically believe that the universe is like divided in different dimensions and we would be living in a third dimension, and they were saying like, okay, in 2012 we're going to the fifth dimension and this is going to mean that we're going to live with no violence and only love, and you're going to be friends with fucking aliens, you're going to have fucking twilight powers, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
of course it sounds fucking awesome.
I mean, let's be real, right?
Yeah.
Have you been? Have you like? Did you experience any violence since 2012?
Actually more. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. It seems like we didn't ascend to the
You
fifth.
know, it didn't work. No,
That was unlucky.
but I still, I don't, I don't, I still do a little bit, inclined. I'm more inclined to, the whole dimension thing, but not in a new age kind of way. I don't really like. I think it's more. I think the new age is more like religion. Actually, I don't like it,
Yeah.
and you can't have a healthy discussion with people up there. They will just just harass you basically. So that's something I don't like.
Yeah.
I always like to discuss things and ask why is this, why is that, and that's not possible with those communities.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think the best is to really like trust your instincts, because instincts don't lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you see someone when you get this bad feeling, there's usually a reason,
Yeah, right.
because that's literally nature.
Mhm.
And then concerning the dreaming thing, like to me, um, humans exploring dreams is also a part of nature,
Right,
right?
right.
Because it has been like this for, I mean, let's see, in the Old Testament, you had the guy that was, I forgot his name. I think it's something. I don't know. It's like, and he was like interpreting the pharaoh's dreams,
Mm-hmm.
right? In every culture, it has had um, a significance, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Like, right?
Yeah.
And then with the you know, people are living really fast nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's you go to work,
Mm-hmm.
you eat your dinner, you watch the TV,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just wake up really early. Like there's no way for people now, um unless they really think about it, to actually calm down and then be themselves, right? It's always like I'm in this rat race and I'm not me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just doing something,
Right.
not
And
me.
and we also have like a more definite idea of what's wrong and what's true and what's not true, what's
Yeah.
real and what's not real. So maybe in the ancient times, you would see this and this, you would think it was a dragon, or you would think you were dreaming, and you were thinking you were talking to God. Or and nowadays, we're like, no, you're dreaming. No, that's a plane. No, it's this and it's that. So
Yeah.
there's no space left for imagination. I feel like, and new ideas often.
Yeah.
People are just for instance, if you would tell one of your friends or your parents about your dreams, what would they say? They're probably gonna laugh at you or come
It's
with some rationalization or something.
if I'd because I tried, like I was a very when I was a bit younger, I was a very philosophical like kid. Like
Mhm.
I loved to read about philosophies and like paradoxes and mind games and stuff. And I
Yeah.
tried to talk about it with my parents because it was very interesting to me.
Mhm.
And um and I said to my father, how do you know that we are not all a projection
Mhm.
of whatever?
Mhm.
And basically he just said, well, I just know. Like, that's it. Which, I agree, but
Yeah.
um,
Because I say so.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like you're not nobody's certain, but everybody thinks, or everybody seems to think that they're very certain of subjects, like, oh, it's just a dream.
Mhm. Yeah. It's just this.
These philosophy things, it's just mind, it's just thoughts. That's
Mhm.
it. The real world matters.
That's how we get away in our minds with for instance, the way meat is being processed. Oh, it's just a cow, whatever. And what will happen to the cow is the most horrendous stuff ever. So that way of thinking is definitely not beneficial at all. And what I said, there's no space for imagination or growth or whatever. And all the good ideas come usually from people who are in the beginning being ridiculed, right? So yeah, I think we have to grow out of that. But at the moment, I don't really have a lot of hope for that, because people are becoming more and more skeptical, more and more close-minded, and the way the media is growing and stuff. And I just notice how big of a influence the media has on people nowadays. People are just not thinking for themselves anymore, and it's just getting worse and worse. And I don't know.
I don't know if I agree with that though, because like,
It's just
yeah,
what I see. Maybe
yeah,
you
but
you're
what I
around
see
other
is
people
like,
or something, but
yeah, of course, there's people that they just watch, or they use social media as like their news outlet, right?
yeah.
But what I see around me, there are people that are like, wow, this society, this the thing that we made,
Hmm.
this thing that we are in,
Hmm.
it might not be as great as it seems, maybe we can do things differently.
Hmm.
But I mean, uh, uh, I think it's because okay, because you went to like a lower education kind of high school, right?
Hmm.
And like it's gonna be I'm gonna sound like really condescending and stuff, but like, I think people that are like smarter, I guess,
Hmm.
not necessarily, but like they have an easier time
Hmm.
to like uh just stand still by certain things and you know like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I kind of agree. Yes, but
uh,
I wasn't even talking about years ago or something. I was just talking about more recently, because yes, of course, people are realizing our system isn't perfect by far. But I don't think that's the hard part, because if you just have a look at the news real quickly, you will easily realize that a lot of things are fucked up. But I was actually talking about the grand picture of things, the
mm,
futility of it all,
yeah, yeah.
and that things might not are how you think they are, because okay, so the system is fucked up. That's one rabbit hole, I guess. But you have a lot of other things to consider as well. And I feel like people stop at only at the system is
Yeah,
fucked up.
that's true. That's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah, because yeah. I mean, what you said about smart people, I kind of agree with that. But also, what I also notice with more smarter people, they're usually more how to say, more conditioned or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, because they've learned a lot, and not generalizing or something, but they sometimes have a lot of pride with their knowledge and stuff. So they've sometimes more problems with letting go of that and seeing other perspectives. I feel
Yeah,
like.
maybe it's like better to say when you think about, you know, uh, when you come to the realization that you can, you can pause everything in your life, even if it's just for a second.
Hmm.
You can think about whatever you want. I think when you realize that,
Hmm.
it's not that you become a smarter person, but it's like you become uh,
More aware.
like it's like a healthier mind, you
Hmm.
know? And I think that translates to being able to do well in what you want to. Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's all bullshit. I don't know.
I think the most important thing to realize is that all those blockages you're feeling aren't actually there. There aren't physical things holding you down. It are just emotional patterns that you developed over the years. And
Mm.
when you realize that, things become lighter. And once you go into those problems and you figure them out a little bit, things become easier and easier. But what I see nowadays is that, what happens, you go to school, you go to work, or you go doing whatever during the day, and you come home. And what do you do instead of, looking at those problems, checking in with yourself? You're just going to watch some fucking Netflix or a movie or a game. And
Yeah,
I'm doing it
that's
myself
me.
as well, but that's very
That's
harmful
me.
to your
Yeah.
psychology, I think.
Yeah, there's this artist, fuck, I forgot the name, but it's something that it sounds Russian,
Mm-hmm.
and what she did was she had this kind of exposition kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in a museum,
Mm-hmm.
and then what she would do is she would sit in a chair in the center of a big large room,
Mm-hmm.
and there would be a chair opposite of her,
Mm-hmm.
and then people could um they could come and sit down, and then they just look at each other,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
and it's like,
That's really intense.
yeah, like that doesn't happen, right? But it's a
Nope.
no, it's a normal thing, but it doesn't happen
It's very
normally.
natural, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a natural thing. And then some people start crying because it's so intense. It's like, but it's a normal thing,
Yeah.
It's like experiencing human interaction. We're
Yeah.
all,
We're all growing out of that a little bit because of
yeah,
technology and stuff.
yeah,
But what's interesting, you know what you should really try, or people at home, if you really want to check in with yourself and with your emotions, try to lay in your bed or sitting in a chair, whatever, and do nothing. What will happen? You'll try, if you pay close attention, you'll get bored, or you'll have the feeling of, oh, I have to do something, or your mind will think about stuff. Those are all ways of the mind to distract you from the bad, emotions and stuff.
yeah,
And that's just the mind is doing that to keep you safe. Basically, it's
yeah,
what the ego is doing, and why it has been putting away all those things for years. It wants to keep you safe. But if you realize that if you just accept those feelings and go into them, things will get easier. You can try to work on that, and I've found that it really helps.
yeah. It
It can
does.
be really painful. It can be really fucking miserable because things will come up you've been putting away for maybe 10 years or something, and you'll probably cry, and maybe you get, yeah, weird stuff can happen. But when you get through that, you'll get out of it stronger, I think.
Yeah, because I think Louis C.K. said something that people are they're very scared of being with their own thoughts, right? That's
Hmm.
why when you're in the car, even,
Hmm.
you listen to a song or you just look at
Right.
your smartphone, you're like, oh, I should text this and this. And we are always finding ways to distract us from ourselves.
Hmm. The mind is doing that.
Yeah.
I try to distinct myself sometimes from the mind, because try to do this. If you're meditating, whatever, you can actually observe your own behavior or your own thoughts. But then you can think like, okay, but before I would identify myself with those thoughts and with that behavior, but now I'm actually observing it. So what am I then? That behavior, or am I the one
The
observing it?
observer.
That
Yeah,
presence.
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've been working on
Just two
things like
seconds,
that.
2 seconds. you're talking about. It was very interesting. I have ADHD, so it's like okay,
Uh,
I keep on forgetting what we're talking about and stuff.
I was talking about, when you're meditating and, you're observing your own
Yeah,
thoughts and shit that, you realize that you're maybe not those thoughts, but actually the awareness observing it. And that
yeah,
can be very elevating.
that's very interesting.
Yeah, it can definitely help, because we, tend to identify with, emotions and stuff too much. And, emotions come in waves. They come and go, and, when you identify too much with those things, it can be really, really bad for you, I think. And it can influence your day-to-day life.
Definitely. But it's just it's so fascinating. It's so interesting what the
I know,
human
man.
mind does and can do, and it's just wow. It's
Yeah,
like it's we can explore the whole universe, and then we wouldn't like
I
it
don't
doesn't
even
it doesn't compare to like exploring the mind.
I know, man. I don't even think we were meant to comprehend the whole universe. That we were meant to, solve everything because that takes the challenge out of it. I was always like to think that we were these perfect beings once, and we just came here to experience, the opposite of perfection, basically, and just live fucked up lives, kind of like just to have fun a little bit, because it is exciting if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like one big adventure.
So I have an idea.
Yeah,
Are you ready for my idea?
yeah,
Are the viewers ready for my idea? Say
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Um, so if anybody that's watching this has an idea about like the dreams and stuff, or if someone feels like, wow, I can relate, or I can help you or something,
hmm
feel free to leave a comment, and yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
people
get
do
in.
it.
Yeah. And let's talk about something funny, something light.
hmm
So, wait, I don't know what's funny though, because I'm a very humorous guy, but now it's a difficult thing.
Okay.
But let's talk about I know, let's talk about what kind of friends we were. Like
Right,
how did we meet? We should have done this at the start, but
right. Because now it's like, okay, who's Gav? What's his relation to?
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Okay,
Uh,
yeah. Well, it's life. We can do things the way we want. Yeah. Okay.
yes,
So
you're free.
yeah, we're free beings. You don't have to do everything according to boring rules.
Yeah, stupid society.
Fuck, fuck those. Scheid aan de overheid.
Yeah.
Okay, so I moved from this place near Amsterdam to where I live now, like
Moved
10
from
years.
like a city to
Yeah,
a farmer's village.
yeah, like
Kind
12 years ago or something. And I came in this class, and Kaf was in it as well. And initially we didn't really hang out. I think
yeah.
I first hung out with this other guy, but you were there as well or something. And then we just clicked or something. And then I went over to your house. That's something I can remember because I couldn't find the way to your home, and you were waiting for me to arrive or something like that.
Yeah, because this was before like smartphones and shit, so
Yeah,
nobody had a cell phone, right? Because it
no,
was just like, okay, I live here, so you just go there and then I'll meet you somewhere.
yeah, and around
Uh,
that time, children of them wouldn't have smartphones yet.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, yeah, but that's how we met, and I don't remember. It wasn't like we weren't good friends, but I don't remember too much about our relationship
Yeah.
in
I
a
think I
primary
think
school. I think.
I think we were friends,
Yeah, we were friends for
but
sure.
like we just played Pokemon, right?
Right.
We
I
just
I
played.
have like better memory with other people, but then we had some weird people in our class, that
Oh yeah,
stood
we
out
had we
more.
had the strangest people in our
Yeah,
class.
I think we had a more regular, normal relationship.
Yeah. Uh, but then high school
Yep.
came. What the fuck came?
Okay.
Secondary school, and
We didn't really hang out for like
yeah,
2 years,
because
three.
I went to like a regular kind of school, like a big school,
Mm-hmm.
and Rohan went to like very kind of practical school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
like
was a little bit far off because most kids would go to this, near this city close to where I live now, and I went like 20 kilometers away from that.
yeah,
It
like
was a little bit.
you had to
bike.
cycle through a forest and
Yeah,
stuff.
fucked up, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those were
but
the
whatever.
days,
And
man.
at
But
some
then,
point, I think
yeah,
we hung out a few times. Maybe in the during the holidays or something.
yeah, because I can remember clearly, like the first 2 years, I don't really think we hang out that much.
No,
Like,
not as no, maybe twice a year or something.
yeah, and then there were periods that we'd go outside every day,
Yeah, that
like
that that was around the
every
time I
day.
went crazy.
Yeah, no, that it was even before that. We just go outside every day,
Really.
and then 1 or 2 years later, it's like, damn, I found this cool website
Yeah.
with these cool people that say fairy exist and stuff. Maybe they do, but
Yeah.
you know, free
Yeah.
energy. Hey,
That was very interesting. Yeah, and
uh,
I can remember just, if you think about back at it, we were a little bit fucked up or miserable, I think. We were just, we were having some problems with our parents and stuff. We would
yeah,
always, come outside and complain at each other, with each other,
yeah.
discuss things and stuff.
So this is really stupid because we'd complain about people that didn't work and didn't go to school,
Yeah,
and then well, me especially, but you sometimes just didn't work and
yeah,
stuff, and it's
yeah,
like. And now, because I have lots of trouble going to school and stuff, it's like I don't go to school. I can't go to school. I can't work. It's like I've become the person that
yeah.
we complained about.
We were such hypocrites, I
Yeah,
think about it, but whatever. You were
that's
young.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was interesting. We had some good times, I think, I don't think you can have relationships like that with anybody, it's special, I think.
And that brings me to the next point.
Hmm.
Do you remember that time when we saw the green light in the
Yeah,
sky?
yeah, yeah. That was very interesting. Okay, so I think, okay, when we're talking about the story, I would like to leave a certain detail out because people are immediately gonna think, oh, that's what happened. But okay,
No, no, no. We have to share it.
yeah, okay.
100%
So
we have to share it.
we did shrooms at first, but
But inner light does,
yeah,
right?
and when people say like mushrooms, they have this image about it. But remember, in Holland they sell different kinds. I found out they aren't actual mushrooms. It's like this extract of
It's like yeah,
mushrooms. Yeah,
it's the same kind of stuff, but then it's like a different.
different one.
I wanted to say fruit, but it's instead of a mushroom, it's like a truffle kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a truffle actually.
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure if I could use that term, but okay, yeah, it's a truffle. So the effects are totally different. It isn't first of all, it isn't, doesn't work visual at all. It's more like a mental thing. And when we experience the thing, I'm gonna mention now. The trip was almost over, so it actually didn't have anything to do with what we
Mm.
witnessed. But if you could just talk about what we saw, because you're the more down to earth guy,
Okay, so basically, we were just walking around, and I remember it very clearly because it was a street next to the street,
Hmm.
like where I live, and we were just walking there, and then we both looked up.
Yeah, it was very strange, like again intuition,
Yeah,
intuitive thing. We looked at the same direction,
yeah,
and then
and it was the night, right? So it
Mhm.
was dark, and we both saw the same green light
Mhm.
making very strange uh, flying motions, I guess.
Yeah, it was very low above the ground.
Yeah. So
Wasn't making any noise.
okay, think about it this way. Yes, we might have been, a bit under the influence,
Mhm.
but that does not mean that two people that see the same thing,
Mhm.
you can't make that up, right?
No, I mean,
And
even if you would have seen that in a trip, you could make the case that when you're using psychedelics, you are actually witnessing, another layer of life. But that's not even relevant to this story because, like I said, the fucking trip was already over. We were like
yeah,
just walking around a little bit after, and then we saw it. So,
yeah, and that was very strange because back then I was an even more down to earth guy. I was like, no, no proof. That's bullshit, I
mhm.
was kind of like that guy, and it's
Right.
like, and you said, "Did you just see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what the fuck? What is that?"
Yeah,
It's
we were
like a
both like, what the fuck?
yeah, it was like okay, so we were like, I was like logically thinking, oh, maybe it's a helicopter,
Hmm.
and then I followed the way it was flying.
Hmm.
It's like, helicopters don't fly that way.
No,
Yeah,
and it wasn't making any sounds because helicopters are making a fucking, a lot of noise, and this thing was just, to me it felt a little bit like as if it was observing us, it was just letting us know it was there. I know it was a really weird thing that was going on.
Yeah, it was really strange.
It was
'Cause,
really
like,
strange.
I can't. To me, it's a UFO because one, it's unidentified.
Yeah.
Two, it was flying, and three, it might have been an object.
Mhm.
Maybe it could have been a laser or something, but I don't think
No, it
lasers.
was definitely an
Yeah,
object. I'm
because
pretty sure.
it was so strange. I don't know how to really fully explain the way it was like moving across the sky, but it's like in even it was like a natural way of an unnatural thing,
Yeah, it was
right?
so weird, man. It was so weird. Yeah,
That was
but,
strange.
but I've had multiple experiences like that, and I always when it happens, I'm always talking about this a lot and have a big mouth, but always when it happens, I'm like mind boggled, like what what the fuck is going on
Yeah.
here? Because that's when you realize, okay, shit, it's just going. There's something really strange going on over here, and we've talked about it a few times after that, and we haven't come to a conclusion yet.
Yeah, we
It's
can't
just.
say what it is. We can't say what it isn't. So
I'm pretty sure it was an object, but whether it was an alien thing or military or whatever, you can't know basically.
yeah, that's true. That
Weird
is
as shit.
true.
Yeah. So have you been doing psychedelics lately, or are you going to stop with that?
Well, I used to do them like I used to do a lot of drugs like in a kind of like an abusive kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, bye bye. And I just saying bye to my sister. And but there's a difference between like using drugs abusively, which in my case was ecstasy, and like psychedelics. It's a very, very different thing. So I used truffles, like magic mushrooms, a few times,
Mm-hmm.
and only one time it was actually visual. The
Mm-hmm.
rest is all like in your mind.
Yeah.
But due to medication, I'm too scared of like having a psychosis or something. So no, it's
Yeah.
not for me. Not right now.
Yeah,
If
I can understand that
yeah
because sometimes you have the feeling you're losing yourself and stuff. I guess, when you resist to that, it can get really ugly.
yeah, you have to be in the right state of mind to do such things. So to all the young people that might be listening to this podcast,
Don't do it for fun.
I mean, you can do it for fun, but realize that you're really doing it for fun.
Yeah, I've been kind of like abusing it a little bit as well. I'm certainly using it for self exploration purposes, but
You're like a shaman or something.
yeah, but I've done some stupid shit as well because they come in these boxes, and up until the point I did it for the first time, I had only done it with Kaf, like we shared this box, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, in like an impulsive act, I was like, oh, let's just buy a box and eat the whole thing by myself. And it was also this new kind of mushroom they just found and stuff, and I felt like it was a little bit sketchy, like, oh, we don't know yet what's gonna happen when you eat it and stuff. So I was, okay, let's do it. Yeah, it was not very smart, but luckily
Because I
I survived.
remember you texting me,
Yeah.
I'm on the sea. I'm on the
Uh,
sea. And then all of a sudden you texted me, I'm crying.
yeah.
And you were like, I'm seeing giraffes in my curtain.
Oh man, good
That was,
times.
that,
Good
that,
times.
that was, that was, that was
Yeah.
really funny. I was like, wait, should I be concerned or I don't know. That was
But that's when I found out that I react pretty good to those kind of
yeah.
things.
They're very stable. Like I don't know how to explain it because I kind of like I don't know. It's like I have a hard time just letting it happen, right?
Yeah, but
And
we definitely noticed the difference between you because okay, the last time we did it with the two of us, it was with him, a friend of him, and me basically, and you could clearly notice a difference because Kaf and his friend were I don't know maybe you can explain because I at least felt like there was some difference in the way things were going.
well, I just need to write this down real quick.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so for me, it was like I actually became like a hippie because that was the first time that I had like a visual experience and like because we were in the forest
Oh yeah,
and that shit was good, dude. I was like, damn, these trees are so green.
yeah, yeah, I
They
can
were like,
remember.
and I was like, damn, fuck, man, like Dude, there needs to be like a balance between humanity and nature,
Yeah,
right?
you were just repeating all the time, like, "Oh, I appreciate the trees and stuff," and your
Yeah,
friend was like, "Oh, I actually always appreciated the trees."
yeah.
You were okay.
But and then you, like Rohan was kind of like on his own, right? Just doing his own thing. So I'm not gonna do it with you again because I don't know. I don't really like the difference in expectations, right?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not going to do it anytime. I'm not going to do it with
With
anyone
anyone. Yeah,
ever again. I realized it's not meant to use as, a party thing, or at least for me, not.
yeah. No, I think it can be fun, but you just have to be in the right state of mind. There's certain conditions you have to meet in order to have a good and positive experience, in
Hmm.
my opinion.
It's true, and I was very different. I was a very different person the first time we did it compared to the second time as well, because that was a very, important period, I feel like, also for you, because at some point we also stopped hanging out that much, and I feel like it has something to do with, I don't know, I've always felt, I've thought about it a lot. I felt like, something happened during that period with the both of us, both going to some stuff, and then things
Yeah,
changed or
definitely. I
something.
mean, we've all had our personal problems, right?
Yeah, things like that, right?
On to the next subject. What do you think? Okay, listen to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a movie coming out
Mm-hmm.
called Nerve,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about an online. Let's see. At first, it's just an online game of truth or dare, but what happens when the game becomes a trap? Okay, so I saw the trailer. I know how it's gonna roll out. What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think? What is the story based on that sentence?
Well, I'm actually looking at at
Come
synopsis
on,
now.
dude.
Huh?
Okay. So if, because basically it's like you get money for certain dares or some shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
you get paid for certain dares,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently it's like it's a trap. You have to do everything. You have to complete the game because otherwise you die or some shit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. Oh, did you remember that time when I asked you for like how much money you'd like sleep with a man?
Oh yeah, and I just gave a really low.
Yeah, you said like 500 euros.
Yeah, I'm open-minded person. I don't mind as long as he showers.
That shit was funny. Okay, but what's okay? So truth or dare? Yeah,
Yeah.
like the dare.
Mhm.
Where's like the? Okay, so for how much money would you chop your dick off?
No money, I think, because I mean, one sexual experience with a man isn't going to change a lot for your life. And if you chop your dick off, you can't have any sex. You won't have any libido or whatever. So that's gonna have a fucking big influence on
So
everything.
it's just priceless, right? But okay, for like, okay, would you have your dick sucked by a man just for free, just for the experience?
Hmm.
Yeah, no one has to know. It's a good-looking dude or a bad-looking dude if that's what you're into.
Maybe. I don't know. Depends on the on
And
the mood.
if you get paid money,
Oh yeah, then I will do
is
it.
that okay? Like,
Then
okay,
I will definitely do it. Yeah. But it depends on. I don't think I would let a girl suck me off like that as well. I just want to get to know someone first, and it depends on the vibe. But I'm now the age where I can, confidently say I think that I don't like men.
yeah,
Because when I was younger, I felt like, okay, maybe, I know I like girls, but maybe, someday I'll find out I like guys as well. But I have never had any experience like that, so I don't think that's the case. But who knows?
yeah. Because I remember very clearly because we've had some. Oh wait,
Weird
I
conversations.
sent you a link on Facebook. It was meant for someone else. Yeah, we've had. Okay, let me explain it like this. We've had some very strange medical conditions,
Yeah, right.
which led to, well, me recently having a doctor's finger in my, in my man
Yeah,
cave, I guess.
yeah.
And you had that like 2 years before, some shit. Or like the doctor, a male doctor, had to fondle your balls.
Yeah, but my case was even worse because I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac. So, it's not that bad. I have control of my thoughts, but sometimes I think like I have cancer or something. And in that case, I thought I had like a tumor in my balls or something. And then I went to the doctor, and because in your case, there was actually something wrong but
Yeah.
I didn't have anything. But I just went and I let them touch me there, and it
Yeah.
was fucked up, a
And
little bit fucked
basically,
up.
we both found out, we're not really attracted to males.
No, because I didn't get any, stimulants or whatever. Yeah, it was cool. No, it was not cool. It was not cool, but I mean, it was just very educating for me.
I
Oh, I'm
honestly
not
thought it
gay.
was. I honestly thought it was kind of fun. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, he touched my prostate as well. It didn't feel bad. I
Your
mean,
bing bong.
yeah, exactly. Did I let him do that again?
Yeah, but I've heard that that's actually the G spot of a guy, the male G spot.
Yeah.
Because I can remember watching this Jackass kind of program, and they were in Thailand, and they were letting these girls, like touching them there up there, and it would, I was looking at their reactions, and it was looking like they were in heaven basically.
Yeah. Sounds like we should do that.
Yeah, I've been
Not like with each other, but like
oh no
we
no
should
no
go to like a
no,
place
no
where
fucking way.
where a lot of men are who like to
You can
put.
actually let you have like these Chinese parlors, you can let them do that. I've heard.
Sounds like a plan, dude.
Yeah, I want to do it.
I'm like Googling it. Prostate massages.
Yeah, it's a real thing, and yeah, I don't know how I feel. I have a little bit of a problem with the poop thing because that's kind of nasty. Because I'm sure there's a lot of in my ass,
Yeah,
and I
no,
mean,
I
usually they're
understand.
like
Yeah.
they're like touching your whole body. So she would go in with her finger first, and then after that she would touch you again. It's fucking.
But isn't it like not allowed to like get a hand job and stuff?
How
Just
do you mean?
can't they do the thing at the same time? Like give a prostate massage and like
No, they're doing it. They're just doing the prostate thing, and that's
that sucks, dude.
it's enough apparently.
Well, I guess
Oh yeah, I've tried it on myself once, but it didn't work.
didn't work.
No, I was trying to look for it, but
You couldn't find it.
nope.
Maybe you were born without one.
No, because I think it has a crucial part in some process in your body. I don't know what exactly. It has something to do with your semen, I think.
With my semen?
Yes, my prostate has something to do with your semen. In general,
Hmm.
yeah,
I mean,
it can happen.
it's besides all the mystical stuff like dreams and stuff, it's
Mm,
also a very healthy thing to just explore your sexuality,
right.
right?
Yeah, I know it.
That I think it's actually kind of important because it's a matter of personal preference, right? It's like
Yeah,
be happy with what you like.
yeah, but I think there's also a correlation between, what happens in your life and your sexuality, because there are some preferences I have. I've been trying to trace back to certain
Oh,
things
wait,
that happened in my life,
dude, I
and
have
I don't mean I've been fucked by my uncle or something, or
wait, you haven't been?
okay, so I have this really, really weird thing I've never shared before, and it's not too dirty or anything. But, I have a thing for like black colored nails. I've had that for, it's not like I get horny, but I just like it. And I've been thinking about why that is. And I've recently remembered this scene of a show they used to have on television in Holland. It's called Klokkenhuis, and it's like this educating
Yeah, for
program.
kids, like an
Yeah,
educational program for kids.
right. But they would have like these sketches in between, and there used to be always this sketch with this weird ass woman with like dark nails. But I don't know. I always liked that for some reason. And I had dreams about it as well, normal dreams, and no
Yeah, yeah,
wet
yeah.
dreams.
No, no.
And I feel like it has something to do with that, but I don't know why.
I remember being in your room,
Yeah.
and it was like, "Hey, Rowan, I'm gonna check your internet
Oh
history."
yeah.
And you're like, okay." And
Yeah.
I was looking at your history. It was like, am I allowed to say like
The thing is, when it comes down to sexual stuff, I'm not as open as I used to be about it. But with close friends, I'm not shy, so I will use. But I'm also someone who says like ignorant shit all the time. So I can imagine that sometimes people aren't really sure whether I'm serious about some stuff. But then, Kaf found out that I was being serious about
Yeah,
certain things.
I was like, okay, this guy, this Varane, you know, he's kind of filthy, I guess. And
Yeah,
then I checked his internet history and was like, it, like, can I name the website?
yeah,
It was tickle abuse.
yeah, dude.
I was just laughing so hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been, to be honest, I haven't even shared this yet, but I've been growing out of
The
the
tickling thing.
yeah, but the whole porn thing actually, because
Oh, really?
because I've realized this thing. um, when you're watching a lot of that, you're basically only using your
Yeah,
mind. You're safe in your room. You don't have to deal with emotions or
yeah.
physical touch or whatever. I think I realize it's like running away from intimacy or something.
Dude,
And
that's interesting.
it is really like that because
Yeah,
actual sex is not only pleasurable, but it's also like fucking intense, as whether it's yeah,
because
good or bad. It's like you're naked in front of someone else, and yeah,
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like just 2 days ago, I was like, I'm gonna stop watching porn because it's a problem, right? You like
but
it's
not
like
not even because of the whole denigrating
no
thing.
no no. It's like
Yeah,
actually because your brain like instead of actual sex, it becomes like this porn idea, right? And
yeah.
it's just not. I don't know. It just doesn't feel healthy though.
And I think there are millions, like a million deflowering stories that goes like this, like, oh, I expected more of it, and stuff,
Yeah,
and it
that's what
isn't
I
as I
had.
thought it would be. But that's just because like porn is just fiction most of the time, It's
Yeah,
just not how things really are.
fuck porn. I'm never gonna watch porn again.
Yeah, I probably will, but
I guess
yeah, you know,
it's I don't know, like
I've been growing out of it. All those
yeah,
weirdest things we probably shouldn't mention. I feel like it has that those things have something to do with other stuff. I've been trying to figure out it
maybe,
more. Yeah,
maybe yes, maybe.
it's interesting. So I think yeah, we've been talking for an hour and not just not make it too. I'm tired. Just wrap it up a little bit. Wrap,
Wrap
wrap,
it
wrap,
up.
wrap. Yeah, I've had a long day, and we shouldn't make it too long. It should be not too long, so people actually wanna listen. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, we could probably continue for like a few more hours, but
Yeah, right. We should do.
let's not
Yeah,
right now.
we should do this again. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I see you. I see you soon, and I actually will because we live next to each other.
Yeah, well, kind of like
Yeah.
it's like half a kilometer away. Okay, thanks for having me. It was a real pleasure.
Right. You're welcome. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.